Hi, Sir Jeffrey.
And I'm representing a medieval knight from the 15th century.
You mean you're not?
So 1450s. Well,
I thought this was real.
so anyway, so this armor is steel. It's all made as accurately as possible. It articulates. It weighs about 65 pounds. So, but all the weight is sort of spread over my body, so it makes it more manageable, right? I don't have the hands or the helmet on right now, and that's another thing. It's much easier to speak, talk, and manipulate. Once I put the gauntlets and the helmet on, then I sort of lose that, right? The sort of weapons that I would use, I have a sword. So this is a 1.5-hand sword. Swords are not going to cut armor. It's just impossible. So the only way that knights could fight each other with swords is they did a thing called half-swording. That means that they would hold the blade here, and they would guide the point up into the armpit or a place that's not well protected.
That's forward.
Throat, right? The throat, I only have mail here, or the groin, right? And also, as a knight, I have to realize where those vulnerabilities are and make sure that I don't expose myself, right? Which is why I have my arms down. I did that, and I have the armpit here, right? So a sword is not really the best weapon for knights to fight each other in, but they still carry it because it's used as a sidearm, and when you lose your other weapons, then you want to draw this. It's still effective against other soldiers that are not wearing so much armor. The real knightly weapon is the poleaxe. All right, so this is like a staff. It's hardwood, it has an axe, a spike, another spike here, spike at the end. It's kind of like a spear. So this is a very deadly weapon that can be used to attack, and there's also length, right? So I could, you know, jab at somebody, and while they're trying to protect themselves, then I can come in and strike them with the axe side. So also with the spike, as well as striking somebody, you could hook them, all right, and they could be pulled to the ground, or the axe could go up under their legs and pulled from behind, and then I could fall to the ground. So you can use this weapon. There's a lot of different like leverage points where you can lever over, right? So it's a very effective weapon for fighting in armor. Very deadly too. If you're not careful, you can hurt yourself with all the different spikes that are on this thing. So, helmets. So I have a sallet here. This helmet is better for warfare because it's kind of like a hat and it just goes on your head like this, right? The other type of helmet that I have here is called a great bassinet. And this helmet just totally encloses your head and you're kind of locked in there. You have straps that strap on here, right? And so you're sort of locked in there. It's very safe, but it's so safe, I have to turn my whole body in order to see, right? And I have trouble hearing, and I need a lot of help getting it on and off. So it's not a great helmet for warfare, but you would wear this helmet in a tournament. And right now it has a jousting visor on it. So see, it looks like a ship's prow, right? So this will deflect the lance, right? So set this on. So I'm going to put the sallet on because it's much more comfortable. With straps and buckles. You can see out of that? Yep. So now it's much easier. I can turn my head. I'm pretty well protected. If there were some archers back there and they started shooting arrows at us, now I could sort of turtle up, right, and be protected very quickly, right? And yes, there is a vision slot right here that I can see out of, and I can see you, right? Now, my mouth is really not protected, right? And that's kind of dangerous. For that, I would wear a thing called a bever, which goes right here and straps on. So, but this is going to limit me to some degree, all right? So talking a lot about fighting on foot, but you could also fight from the saddle, riding a horse. I prefer to ride a horse when I'm in armor because the horse supplies the locomotion, right? So, and this armor is made for that. So I'm going to get onto this little stool here. And when you're on horseback, you would use a lance. So this is the lance. It's about 12 feet long. And so if I was jousting or going to strike somebody from horseback with the lance, what I would do, I'd take my lance. The squire has to hold out, hand up the lance. I would couch it, right? So I'd be holding it here in my hand, and see how it goes up into my armpit. And there's a little cutout here. Actually, it's going to come right down, right on you there. There we go. All right, so it's going to come down just like that. So I'd be riding my horse, and as I'm riding my horse, the lance would come down, boom, impact, and then back up again. All right, and that's how I do my strike. So if I hold the lance down just like this, the action of the horse is going to cause the lance to go all over the place. They'll have no control, no accuracy. So that's why it's very important that I let the lance just fall right into my target, boom, and then back up again. So meanwhile, I've got to control the horse with this other hand, and I have my helmet here, right? So I'm looking out like that and riding. So there's a lot of skills involved in riding a horse in full armor and being a knight. Who would have thought, right? So, and I have jousted in this armor, and let me show you some pictures. So here I am at a tournament in England. This is at the Royal Armories in Leeds, a jousting tournament. So this is a great honor to be a part of this tournament. And me and my partner, we won the tournament.
Oh, is that you? You're in there, yeah.
So that's me. And that's another thing about knights in armor. When they're all covered up, if everybody's wearing armor, you can't tell who's who. So heraldry becomes very important to letting everybody know who they are. Heraldry here is the shield. So when you're jousting at a tournament, now knights in full plate armor like this don't really need to wear shields, but in a tournament they would, because they want to show off their heraldry, who they are. And the shield actually in modern jousting becomes the target for the competition. So whoever breaks their lance on the shield will win points, right? So the other thing that knights, so the heraldry is very important. So I have a banner. Sometimes I would have feathers in my hat, and that lets other knights know who we are. And in warfare, this is important too, because if I see soldiers up on a ridge line, I'm not going to know who they are unless I see their banner, right? And that's very important, you know. Is that a friend or a foe over there, right? So, do we have any questions?
Maybe you've answered this already before. How heavy is all this?
So the full armor is about 65 pounds. So, and the weight is spread all over my body, but you know, I'm getting a workout today.
Yeah.
So really, you gotta get comfortable or used to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. It's not easy. It weighs on you.
Yeah.
There's a spot right here. I haven't gotten into this. I don't get into it that often. So there's a spot right here that's rubbing, and I got to figure out why that is, because I know I'm gonna be feeling it at the end of the day. But that's a thing that happens, and that's something that knights had to deal with. Was, you know, the fact that the armor can wear on you, you know, and if you're on campaign somewhere, you might be in armor all the time. And there were times when knights were on campaign in a battle or war where they slept in their armor so that if they were attacked in the morning, they could just wake up and go right into it. Yeah.
Did you need a squire to get into that?
I did need a squire to get into this, and right now my squires are off tending to the horses. So some horses need to be reshoed, so they're not here right now. But yes, a knight needs multiple people, attendants, and you know, people to take care of the horses, people to help the knight get into the armor, people to take care of the lances. And I'm not taking down that tent. I'm not cooking the food. I have servants for that. So knights are very wealthy, they're nobility, and they're also vying to show off how powerful they are and wealthy they are, right? And even the armor is a status symbol. Nobility that had armor oftentimes had it decorated. It could be gilt. Later in the 16th century, you see etching. So it's quite a status symbol to wear something like this and walk around, or ride a horse in a parade or enter a town in full armor, with banners, blowing in the wind. It's like, whoa, it's awe-inspiring. So it's a status symbol.